Welcome back to the Cosas Verde show, where we talk about Bitcoin and altcoins. And we're getting ready to have a fun show today. Welcome back to Cosas Verde show. This thing was causing me all sorts of problems, trying to make more USB space on my computer, and I guess it failed, so I couldn't get my camera to work, and my microphone was acting funny, and then I just unplugged this and plugged them in. I found some spaces, and here we go. All right. CPI data. Oh, look, I have a Viacoin shirt on. It's like the walk of shame. Really one bad call I had. CPI data is going to be released. There's going to be a lot of volatility on Friday morning. So for Californians, it's going to be about 4:30 a.m. where market's going to start getting hot. It could move again when volatility increases. Price can go both ways, and you should actually expect it to go both ways. Not necessarily that one will be a fake out, but things could just go both ways and then settle down right where it was at the beginning. Therefore, if you're trying to actively trade this stuff during those moments, it's going to be wise to take profits quickly is kind of the idea there. But expect a lot of volatility and don't assume continuation to one side or the other. And it could be just more circus show, similar to how Bitcoin's been moving this week, which is it's been unprecedented price action. And tomorrow it could continue the show, and literally the dust could settle with it moving sideways. So let's take a look at the charts in both traditional markets and Bitcoin to see what we can expect. Let's get it. I have on Nasdaq futures right now. My range was too small. So earlier I was flashing my micro range, as somebody in a witty way commented, and it was too small. My range was too small, and so I now have a very symmetric range here. So you see the top, the bottom of the range. This blue line's an origin line. I guess I could get rid of that for this purposes. Maybe, yes. Bam. All right. Top of the range, and you can copy this. Actually, feel free to. This is Nasdaq futures, ticker NQ1 exclamation. You can see the ticker right here. All right, and this is the EMA fill. I can get rid of that. So top of the range, bottom of the range, point of control, 3 lines in the middle, each side, and they are equidistant. So for some reason, crypto and traditional markets, they like symmetry. Look, it's the same thing. See that? I don't know why that happens, but algos like symmetry, and that's just the way it is. I don't know why. So everything is perfectly parallel because I dragged, I think I started off with this guy here. And once I got it where I wanted, then everything else is parallel to it. Even this box right there. See that? And if you wanted to copy that, that's the way to do it. You can't do it early on a phone, so don't try it. But once you do it on a computer, it'll go to your phone once you upload it, and you just drag stuff so it's perfectly parallel. And this box here is you can't see the left-hand side of my chart. Now you can. So where the ruler is, I think is it 3 up or 2 up? It's so 1, 2 up. It is 3 up. No. Damn it. Wait, it looks like this. Let's see, where was it? Well, I thought it was 3 up. Maybe I'm just being stupid now. Huh. I don't see it. I have it saved. Okay, that means I have a star next to it. Hold on. Date and range, bars pattern. Well, son of a gun. I actually don't see it anymore. But if you find it somewhere, it looks like this one right here. Wherever it is over here, and you star it, it'll go to this little bar. And the way I do it is I run it over this line so I know it's parallel, drag it. I don't care about how wide it is necessarily. Then I put it in the middle, and then I redo the size. That's how I do that. So if you wanted to try doing that, it could be pretty helpful for you. So what we have going on here is that the top of the range was made, and Bitcoin follows this chart pretty nicely, right? So the top of the range was formed before you knew that this was going to be the range, right? But from here to here, the range was set, okay? The point of control wasn't really, but it's technically in the middle. It always goes in the middle, and price reverting back to the mean, which it usually does, it just naturally does. It goes up to it, pauses, or it goes down to it and bounces. And once it goes through it, it usually accelerates through. Usually doesn't happen from this line. You'd usually see it do something more like this, accelerate through it. But that's kind of a weird. That's kind of a weird play there to accelerate down from this line all the way through it. I don't see that happen on many ranges. So it is at a bounce point. It's absolutely at a possible bounce point. If it comes up here tomorrow, I would expect potential rejection, or look for rejection, or rejection from here, from the failure point. So it failed from this line. So I could see it coming up here. So if tomorrow, for example, if I personally, this is not financial advice, I'm talking about my thoughts, and I'm not giving you any financial advice, but if I were long and I saw NASDAQ futures get up to where it broke down, I would probably take profits on those longs that'd be fully out, for example. And what, regardless of what Bitcoin does, assuming Bitcoin roughly moves in the same pattern. Therefore, it is at a bounce point, and I think that tomorrow you're going to see a decent amount of price action somewhere in this area. Like that. I think a lot of the volatility is going to happen there, and it's going to be similar on Bitcoin. See that? And again, I am recording this snippet, so if you wanted to go just to the Bitcoin version of this after, as I'm recording and pause it and make your own lines and stuff, definitely feel free to do that. And go to Bitcoin here. I have a similar range, and look, do you think it's coincidence that it also is one of those trading channels with three lines between it? Nope. Because Bitcoin, now, did it make the range the same way? No, it did not. But Bitcoin has not touched the bottom of its range yet. This wick down essentially was the point of control, oddly enough. So it's kind of a funky range here, but that's what I got, because it's the same. So Bitcoin is at the same point that NASDAQ futures are. Do you see that? So it's one line down from this point of control. The box being the point of control. So NASDAQ futures there, and so is Bitcoin. That's why I kind of constructed it this way. And Bitcoin is just going sideways. Nothing has happened in the last 3 days besides a little circus show, but at the end, nothing happened. Just wicked volatility. No sense, no rhyme or reason. Unless you're the person dropping $50 million market orders, there's no way you could have guessed that anything. And even within these 4-hour candles, like, there was nastiness. I don't know which one it was, but there were 5-minute candles straight up and down too. Let's see here. Like right here. Look at this shit. Like, this is just stupid. It's honestly beyond stupid. Yeah, this all was a circus show. This was a circus. And I think it was more like a display of power, like, just, hey, look what we can do. It's almost like hedge funds were sparring, is what it looks like. Okay, you brought it down, well, we're going to bring it back up. And then the same people who brought it down again or something. And here in the middle, they were both putting the orders at the same time. Like, I swear, if you could see whale orders, you'd be able to see long shorts right here. And this is only 10 minutes. These are 5-minute candles. Look. I'm almost, I wouldn't say almost certain, but I feel that it's a highly probable scenario that this is literally just people, essentially like a fight, people like sizing each other up, but it's almost like it's hedge funds. All right, so tomorrow, this is going to follow NASDAQ. There's going to be a lot of volatility. Therefore, it's going to be very helpful to know what NASDAQ futures are doing because these are moving when the NASDAQ is actually closed, and you get a lot of volatility at 8 a.m. New York time, or even 7:30 New York time sometimes, but it usually starts picking up at around 8 a.m., which is an hour and a half before market opens, traditional market opens. So whatever this does, natural trajectory, maybe it could come down one more time, come up, get rejected. Let me draw out a few price paths, what I'm seeing. But again, I don't know what's getting ready to happen outside of the idea that there's going to be a lot of volatility. That's the only thing I'm confident about. The direction of price, I'm not confident about. So maybe up here, down, up, down, and then it just settles right where it was, something like that. Something like that could easily happen. And it could do it on Bitcoin too, which is what it just did. It was a circus show, and then it ended right where it started, like literally right in the middle of all that circus. That's where the dust settled. It literally could happen again. therefore, tomorrow, let me make my Facebook. You know, I don't know if tomorrow's that day where you can enter things like whether it's spot trade or futures and just think like, oh, this is a macro move. I'll be able to keep open for a week, you know, or a month or 6 months, as if it were the beginning of a bull market or the beginning of capitulation. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be heavily volatile. Then it's going to sort itself out somewhere close to the middle. That would be my guess. And the last time I guessed sideways, I made that video on May, 14th? 2 days after the big drop of May 12th was when Bitcoin went down to like 26K. I mentioned it's going to move sideways for 30 days, and it has so far. So I'm kind of guessing volatility, then sideways tomorrow. We'll see if that plays out, but that is kind of my firm guess. But I don't know if there are statistics or an edge for that. You know, so I'm essentially making an opinion, and I don't have much in the charts to back that up. I want to be very clear with that. That's just my guess, because volatility, the idea of volatility is the only thing I'm confident about. I don't know what price is freaking going to do. And I don't think anybody does unless you're an insider who has connections with the Fed and big trading desks with tens and tens, if not $100+ million. I don't think anybody else outside of that club can have a solid understanding of what's going to happen tomorrow. So you need to be prepared for everything, but what I'm preparing for specifically is volatility both ways, and that's all that I'm prepared for. So any trade that I get that I'm getting into, I'm taking profits quickly, and it'll probably be as it hits one of these lines. Probably a couple lines up from where I enter, take profits. I won't necessarily swing the other way, but I'll see what's happening and then be in and out very quickly. And that's how I'm prepared. So sometimes the idea of I don't know, the only thing I do know is volatility, that is valuable in and of itself, even though it's directionless. Because it means if you are hitting the right direction, that just means you take profits quickly. And that's very valuable. Because it's the difference between being $1,000 up on a trade and then it comes right back down your entry. And even though you didn't lose anything of your original money, you didn't take your $1,000 when you should have. Right? It could be $1,000 lesson to take profits quickly. So it's very valuable to guess sideways, right? Volatile, but sideways volatile. Am I making sense there? And that's what I got for Bitcoin leading up to the CPI release. That's going to happen 8:30 a.m. New York time, 5:30 a.m. California time. But the volatility will pick up because insiders will start dumping or pumping probably the wrong way first. So if you see it pumping one way, it's getting ready to go the other way right around like 8:30 to 9. It's going to go right the other way. And then it could go straight back up to where it was or straight back down to where it was. So if it goes down first early in the morning around 7:30, it's getting ready to go right back up, and it'll probably go down again. But if it goes up first, it'll probably then slam down and then go right back up. Something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. For tomorrow. And yeah, so be very, very prepared. But for altcoins, like for investor people, I don't think this volatility is going to be a great, this is more for traders to make money or to get their butts kicked like I did back here. Because I didn't expect the volatility to necessarily, well, I did make a video saying it can go both ways, and it actually did. And I still got my butt kicked. But this time, I'm not going to get my butt kicked. I would take my profits very, very quickly, be in and out, and because I messed it up back here personally. And I think, according to a few people who I follow who trade, they made some videos mentioning that they got their butt kicked as well. This really messed up a lot of people, which was the whole point of it, I guess. And yeah, that's what we got for Bitcoin. Bunch of chop tomorrow. Very volatile. There is money to be made, but you got to grab your money very quickly and try to use these lines. So I gave you, so you can pause the video, or once I upload the recording and make these lines both for Bitcoin and Nasdaq. Another very important chart is SPX, or the SPX futures, which is this ticker here, ES1. I don't have the range set on this, but it's essentially the same range. Here I only have it as two lines. Because SPX has not been as bearish as from a daily update. Sorry, I left my stuff on here. So it's essentially the same type of stuff, but this one's a little farther down. Technically, it's but I would either use ES1, so E mini futures, or I would lean heavily on NQ1. Which is kind of what I do in my community. We lean heavily on this. Chart, And yeah, and one thing that Ethereum is doing a lot differently here. Look at the difference. This is kind of weird. Even on the super micro timeframes, Ethereum's holding up really well, but its shape is a lot different. See, since May 12th, Bitcoin's gone like this. So Bitcoin's gone like that, and this has just been one floaty thing down. So Ethereum looks totally different from the segment I just recorded for the live show. It's a lot different, and this seems a lot easier to trade. So I've personally been dealing with Ethereum a lot more than Bitcoin, even though technically Ethereum did a shit show kind of like Bitcoin, but not to the same degree, because the same whales buying Bitcoin weren't necessary. So this follows Bitcoin by default, but it wasn't the same circus show. This was, even though you had that same 5-minute candle ridiculousness, but in general, it didn't get all the crazy stuff. So honestly, it's almost like Ethereum has been the voice of reason, because whatever circus happens on Bitcoin, it's like Ethereum is the voice of reason throughout there. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel, essentially. So so if you note that, if we can lean on that thought process, if we can get any hints out of that, I mean, yes, it's a downward channel. Yes, it's not bullish until it breaks above here and uses it as support, and then you have an origin line up here that you're dealing with. But so things likely, anytime it goes up, it's probably going to come back down at least to some line before then trying up out of here. Does that make sense? So I don't expect it to go straight from the point of control up and out. And assuming that this is the voice of reason for Bitcoin, right, in crypto, like Ethereum right now, because it's not being played with to the degree that the whales are, that hedge funds are dealing with Bitcoin. You can see the difference, right? It's almost night and day difference. I don't think it'll go straight above and come back down. I think so. Anyway, if for example, me, it's the same concept. If it comes up here, I would take profits rather quickly on any position that I'm in, as opposed to thinking, yay, we're up to 40K Bitcoin. No, I think it'll have its hesitations and plenty of times to re-enter and take profits, and then, do something like this. It goes, if it's going to break up and out, it could, and then do some type of bull flag thing and then pop out, something to that effect, if it's going to break up and out. Ethereum has been much easier to deal with, and it's helping me understand things a lot, what's going on, because Bitcoin has been more of a distraction. It's not the truth of crypto. It's not true direction, essentially. And yeah, I'm really digging Ethereum right now quite a bit. Not necessarily because I'm bullish fundamentally. I honestly don't give two shits. I think Ethereum's here to stay, and I think it's going to be successful. But it's just, I think it might be the best chart to look at in crypto. It's not the most bullish, but I think it's given the true direction of what's happening. And just looking at it, you can get a feel for what is real. The difference between your perception and reality, I think, is the difference is smallest with Ethereum. So if you're in doubt, look at Ethereum's chart, maybe put on a channel or EMAs, like EMA fills, let's say the 4-hour EMA fill. And it really needs to get above there. If not, it's going to keep riding it down. So EMA fill is a really easy way to make sure to double check yourself. Like, am I bullish right now? Well, does the EMA fill on a bigger time frame, like the 2 or 4, 8 hour? Like, I mean, this doesn't look actually bullish very at all. That doesn't look bullish at all. That looks maybe like it wants to break up because volatility is reducing. So like the gap widened, then it's thinning. You got to pump up. It looks like it's trying to go. It might round out. It looks like it's trying to round out. But it doesn't look short-term very bullish to me. This EMA fill is really nice. And what I like to use for the EMA fill is specifically the 21 and the 55 on all time frames. I just really enjoy it. You could use the 21 and the 89, or get like really funky with it, like the 22 and the 66, or just you can mess with it and make it different shapes. But you could do something like that if you wanted to. But I really like the 21 and 21 and the 55. And if things get too smashed down like this, okay, well, this doesn't give you any freaking information. Well, instead of pissing with this, like doing something like the 89 and the 222, okay, to make it wider, instead of doing that, I will simply keep it 21 and 55, and I'll go up a time frame, like multiple time frames to the 4 hour. Now you have better information. It's not all just smashed down and senseless. Does that make sense? So right now it's a little indecisive. I'm not gonna lie. Structurally, it's above its point of control, although it's all slanted down. But it means it doesn't necessarily. It's not gonna fall off a cliff here. It's because it's above this point of control. It got above, used as support, and is riding it. So it's a war between this point of control and that. Let's just call it the 4 hour EMA fill. Whichever way. So even though it could come down and tag this first and then pump up, but if it does break down into here, it is giving signs that, yeah, this EMA fill is gonna win the war. So if you take off price essentially on Ethereum as the voice of reason, you have a war between the EMA fill as resistance and the point of control as support. Which one? And price is stuck in between in that space. Do you see that? And now put price back on. Boom. See that? So I see it as a war, and this is visually showing you the constant war between the bulls and the bears, and it's literally a fight. Like it is a war, and it's constant because crypto doesn't shut down like traditional markets do. It is a constant war. It is a battle, and I think that this helps visualize what is going on. Although over this segment of time, the bears are clearly winning because it hasn't flipped green, right? So up here, when it's green, the bulls are clearly winning. So however, it does look like the bears are, let me take off this range. It does look, even though I'm looking at Ethereum, not Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin's being pissed around with too much. I don't think the information on it is clear. But it does look like the bears were totally in control, still in control, but they're losing steam is what it looks like to me. And if you go now to the weekly chart, even though I'm doing an Ethereum analysis, here's something that's opposite though. Watch this. Look at these weekly candles, okay? I don't know how. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, 10. Could be 10 if it closes. Wow. Anyway, so look at the difference though between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here's where I might backtrack a little bit on my idea that it's the voice of reason. Look at this. Now look at Bitcoin's. See that? Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're both rounding out, but Bitcoins are green and these are red, and that is indicative of the channel being different. Does that make sense? So Ethereum's channel is going down and Bitcoin's is going up. So it kind of is indicative of that. And if you go back to Bitcoin, one thing that could be creating this volatility is that you have this mega important line here. Look, weekly wick, weekly wick, weekly wick, weekly wick. It's all around 29K, 29 to 30, around 25. So I think this is the absolute battle line. And what's going on is it's being defended by big money, but it's also so this is my theory of why hedge funds are sparring. It's that line. There are people with shorts who want it to go below. If you can drive it below, it's going to tank. Like, it would be probably a capitulation event. But it's being defended by a different group of people or groups of people who are potentially coordinated, or they're all just defending it for the same incentive, even though they're not aware they're all doing it. But it's being defended and it's being attacked. This is the battle. Like, this is a huge battle line right now. And I think this is what is causing all the ridiculous stuff happening on the small time frames. But when you zoom out, you can just tell, okay, well, yeah, this line's being defended. And obviously it's being attacked because if you can get it to go down and you're in shorts, you're going to make insane amounts of money. You just got to sell Bitcoin hard enough to give it the oomph, and then the market will take it. And then those whales can stop selling. After they get it to close a week below there and then drive one more week below, it's just going to tank. It wouldn't happen all in 1 hour or 4 hours. It'd probably take a couple weeks of doing it to close some weeks behind there, and then boom, then it falls after the people who were defending it give up. So it's the people defending this aren't going to give up with one weekly closure, in my opinion. I think it's going to be red, then a week that comes up gets rejected, but it's green. The next week comes up, gets rejected as red, and then the next week is big capitulation. It'll take several weeks for the people defending this to give up. Does that make sense? So on Ethereum, so even though this line is kind of the voice of reason, but because of that sparring, Bitcoin is getting funky, and it's just easier to, in my opinion, to understand price on Ethereum's chart, even though understanding this line on Bitcoin is very important. But Ethereum is just, I don't know, it's just a nicer chart to be looking at. And you have the same concept going on over here. See that wick, a huge weekly support area, make a box, boom, bada, bing, Ethereum. So it's this pretty similar concept. So because Ethereum has the same line, I think it's just safer to freaking look at Ethereum than Bitcoin right now. Because Bitcoin's having too many games played with it because of this idea. And that is my macro thought process on the goofiness of what's going on. Why hedge funds would be, I mean, they might not know that they're sparring with each other. Like they know who it is and they know, oh, these people are bullish. We want to be bearish. They want to make money as long as we want to make. I don't know if it's to that degree. It could be an unconscious sparring, but it's happening. Like there's a spar either way, and it's that line. And I think Ethereum is really nice to look at. So hopefully you're seeing. Let me look at this channel one more time. So in case you want to copy this, feel absolutely free to take this information and make it your own. Oh, I guess I can keep that sparring line on here. Let me go to the 30-minute. And yeah, it's kind of easy to see on the 30-minute, 1 hour, something like that. There you go. That's what we got going on for Ethereum. If you want to copy that and make your sparring line. Very, very important stuff here. And I think this is going to make all analysis so much freaking easier. If it can stay above the bottom of that green box, you're in business. But look what it's in line with now. Look, this might be why Bitcoin and Ethereum held on. Because if it can hold on as traditional markets going down, when it does go down, it's going to have double support. You're going to have the point of control, and you're going to have this green box crossing, intersecting. And traditional markets just tanked, but Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't freaking move because they have this box and a point of control. Even though Bitcoin's under its point of control, but Ethereum's got both. So like it's like the voice of, I'm telling you, it's the voice of reason right now. Ethereum is, it's rare that I say this, but it probably happens a few times a year. It's better to be looking at Ethereum right now, and I'm fairly confident with that statement. Yeah, and I wish I had an Ethereum shirt on. I wore it. I think I wore it on Monday. Somebody said I need that shirt, but I got the Ethereum background, and that's why. I'm all about Ethereum right now, and it's way easier to trade. And if you're trying to click around with your money, Ethereum is absolutely the way to go. That's what we got for Ethereum. All right, let me start looking at some questions. XRP Chainlink. Hey, brother. Hey, America. All right. Yeah, I'm going to turn on my air conditioner for a second. If it's a little noisy, I apologize, but I'll turn it off after about a minute. Okay. No sound. Sounds good. Okay, good. Yeah, it's saying that the sound's picking up, and it's even picking up the damn air conditioner. Let me move these. Try to make it so it doesn't blow on my. And it's still picking up. I'll turn it off here in a second. Let me start looking at some questions. Maybe I can move my mic a little bit. Nope, that didn't work. All right. Hey, Tim. Yo, Chainlink. Yeah, we'll look at Chainlink. I like looking at Chainlink. It's just really a shame that Chainlink is as suppressed as it is. I mean, I think all altcoins deserve to get battered, but Chainlink might be, and well, I'm not including Ethereum as an altcoin. I don't consider that an altcoin, even though it technically is, but out of pride, I don't. I don't have it classified as that. Chainlink is probably like the #1 most legit altcoin out there, besides Ethereum. Yeah, it's just a shame. So I'll definitely take a look at that. Hello from Germany. Hey, Silver Haze. So your voice is supposed to come out of one side. Actually, thank you for saying that. All right, maybe it's coming out of both sides now. Like I said, I was having trouble with my stuff here, right? That's why, yeah, I had to start late because this thing wasn't working and I turned it on and off. Maybe I'm coming out both ears now. Yeah, maybe that did it. Let me know if I'm if it's in both ears. All right, Billions, like the show Billions. Thank you. Some straight Billions moves. Tim, any idea of MATIC? All right, so we'll start looking at some coins here. I'll start off with Chainlink. Let's go. All right, now that I got to cool myself down, Chainlink is, like I said, in my opinion, one of the most, I mean, if not the most legit altcoin in crypto. And last bear market, it moved up. I mean, I haven't looked at the price, but man, this is like the time that, oh yeah, fuck, it is. Okay, well, Chainlink is being Chainlink again. This is badass. Man, maybe it is time to DCA into this on the next oscillation down. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I guess I take back what I said earlier, that Cardano looks to be like the most bullish chart. So it's right at that local high. Let me go to Cardano real quick. And Cardano is under, yes, so Chainlink is slightly more bullish than Cardano. Interesting. Huh, because almost everything is under its so on that May 12th dump, everything and its sister has this bounce here that made a local high on, like, you know, like the 4-hour chart, and you can see it pretty clearly like this. Everything is under here besides Chainlink. So but Cardano is about the only thing I could see that's consolidating under it like this. So when you see this pattern in a dump, you're always going to have trouble on whatever local high happens right before the dump, whatever that is. It's just how trading works. It's like a rule, and it's probably never going to change. It probably won't. This is one pattern so I'm giving you some fucking good information that's not necessarily about Chainlink. This is Bitcoin. This is the price of oil, the price of black market testicles. Whenever you see a big dump, whatever that local high is right before, that's where price will be attracted to, and it's going to have a hell of a time getting over. Does that make sense? And it rarely goes above it and lands on it. It usually comes up to it, gets rejected bad, and then goes down more or consolidates under it. So anyway, go back to Chainlink. Chainlink could just be making up ground because it was battered so much. But let's take a look. Let's do a downward facing channel here, and I will move this down because this is the new line that I need to be looking at. Actually, what was that line? Yeah, we'll just keep it there. And it is getting above it. Pretty, wow, that's actually pretty mega bullish, because this is the local high that I was talking about. And I said it usually doesn't go straight above and land on it. Ugh. So this is like exceptionally bullish. That's very interesting. However, to put it into context, I guess I can delete all these origin lines because they're freaking useless now because it broke out. Let me give me a second here. I'm going to have to go to the, is a 4-hour chart going to get me enough price history? Maybe 8-hour. 8 hours looking okay. No, let's see here. I'll do the 4-hour. All right, so you can watch in live how I make my channels. It's really not that hard. You just connect the most important lows. And then the way crypto and traditional markets move, I swear it's crazy, but I promise you it's exactly how it moves. It's all perfectly parallel. And that's why you use control and you drag it up to the top. So whatever best fit line right there. So I would say this gets the top right. This one went over the top. So this was a fake out above the range, and then it came below it, got rejected, came below, got rejected. So this one got the top of the range, that didn't. And then I'm going to make should I make this a little longer? Yeah, because it might stay in here for quite a while. This could get the bear market bottom. All right, so let's do something like that. And now I will drag this up and make that one. And I'm going to give you a more precise guesstimate here of what's going on. So what I'm looking for here is a lot of activity in this box. And it's always in the middle, which is why EMAs work. And EMAs are not a lagging indicator. It predicts the future, I'm telling you, because price always goes back to the mean. You got your choice of what mean, as in the average, right? But that, yeah, I'm telling you, like, people who do lagging indicators, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to use them, is what it is. All right, mathematically they are, but the math predicts what's going to happen in the future. Why is this line not parallel? Why are these lines not parallel? Come on, Tim, we said perfectly parallel. What are you doing? There we go. So there are only two lines between each. Between the bottom and the point of control, and between the top and the point of control, there are two lines, and they should be roughly equidistant. It's rare that I see a channel where they're not equidistant, which means actually I should delete these and then drag these here like this. That means this is too low, or that's too high. Or no, this is too high, or this is too low. Oh, yep, that makes way more sense. Okay, so it goes down to this wick. Yeah, they need to be equidistant. Like, I promise you, that's how ranges work in crypto. It's perfectly parallel and usually perfectly equidistant. And if it's not, so for example, if you ever make so something I've learned over the years, if you make a range where it has like 3 lines between the top and the point of control, but the bottom only has 2 lines, that means you're doing something wrong. And you need to figure it out. That means you're not seeing something. All right, so now we have perfectly equidistant, perfectly symmetrical stuff. So what's happening with Chainlink is, gosh, it looks like it has a chance to, if Bitcoin goes up here and rally, this is going to break out and it's going to be heavy. It's only going to hesitate there. It could go straight. I bet it would go straight to $13. Easy, easy, easy. This is going to be a pretty serious breakout if Bitcoin breaks up here. It's going to go straight to this box. Yeah, so if Bitcoin rallies to 40K, that would be 40% up, and Chainlink would outperform it. It would get 50 to 55%, and it would probably, because it's at such an important pivot of the top of the what do you call it, the channel, and a pretty big horizontal, because when you zoom in here, I'm telling you, even though there's not a lot of price history here, I'm telling you, I already know it's true, before a dump, okay, that high that's made is always super important every single time, no matter what it is. Black market testicles, price of oil, doesn't matter. Bitcoin, price of toasters, doesn't matter. This is going to be really important. So this is even though this might not have a lot of historical stuff, but for short-term price action, it's going to be huge, and it intersects with this. So what's going to happen if it breaks up? You can bet your bottom dollar it's going to come straight back down and test this. I'm telling you, if things break up, that's what it'll do. So I could see it going like this, boom, break up to test something over here like this, and then it'll go boom, boom, and then it'll march up, something like that. There you go. And so what you just saw me do, and I'll zoom out and let you, take a snapshot if you want to on that. So the value in sitting there watching me do this slow-mo, like struggling to do it or whatever, like thinking out loud, but you just watched me do it live. I didn't prepare any of it. This is how I chart. And this is only one part of my analysis. This is only structural analysis. However, structural analysis is becoming a lot more important in my analysis, and it's helping me out so much. So much. But I mix, so my style recently has gotten more and more structural analysis involved. But I historically use a lot of RSI and EMAs as primary, and candlesticks. I would say it's those primary, and then candlesticks and stochastics for momentum oscillators as like my main secondary stuff. But right now I'm adding a third, so I have two strong secondaries. So two strong secondaries, stochastics and candlesticks, but I have three primaries: structural, RSI, and EMAs. That's how I rock and roll. And so this is only one part of it, but it's so glaring that I already know if Bitcoin does break up, that's how it's going to move. Do I know if it's going to break up? No, because I don't know if Bitcoin's going to break up. Bitcoin's a freaking circus right now. No one fucking knows. It's literally ridiculous. It's all controlled by traditional market people right now. They're pissing with Bitcoin. Like, it's completely controlled. We all watched it print a perfect Wyckoff pattern out of a textbook. It's being completely controlled by big money. Like, it's embarrassing. Honestly, it's honestly embarrassing. So I don't know which way they're going to choose, and it's literally to that. But if they choose, the big theys, if they choose up, they're not pissing with Chainlink price. Chainlink will follow, and this is how it'll move. That I am extremely it will come above. Like, I'm extremely confident it will come above, come back down to retest, and then move up. If Bitcoin does make a path, even up to 35K, it's going to move similar to this. So I will zoom out, and I can make this. Whatever, I don't even know where that came from, but I will make another box here, and I'm going to put it at the origin of what I'm talking about, right there, so you can see where it originates, and I'll make it like a more funky color here, something like that, like McDonald's, red and orange or something. There you go, because it's going to be, well, it was resistance, but there you go. And that would be up to 1350 if Bitcoin gets a rally at least up to 35K. I can see Chainlink getting up past $13, and that's how I would roll with Chainlink. Now you can mix other types of analysis within Chainlink, like you might have to go to the 12-hour. Gosh, this is really bullish looking. My goodness, even the 12-hour EMA fill's flipping up hard. So it almost looks like it might want to come down and hit this EMA fill. It's going to do more like that. Yeah, it's probably so to make this a little more accurate. If Bitcoin breaks up, which I don't know, but if it breaks up, this will be pretty accurate. So it's going to hit this EMA fill. It's going to come to the top, hit the EMA fill, then bust up, then retest this, and then go up. So that's your EMAs, and these are just EMAs. But yeah, that's my price path to 1350 under the assumption that over the next 5 days, that Bitcoin is going to decide to go up. And isn't that a pretty chart? And I'll post this to both YouTube, just the post, and Twitter as well. But if you want to pause this and take a snapshot and do it yourself, again, the EMA fill stuff is I use the 21 and 55, and I have it on the 12-hour chart right now. And to make the lines, I usually like making channels on the 8-hour or 4-hour because I can see better wicks and stuff. It's more accurate. So you can make, when you're drawing this, I would use the 4-hour chart because you get all the price history that's needed from the origin of it. And that's Chainlink plus a bunch of other info. That's Chainlink and I might even, now that I recorded this segment, I might name this how to set up channels like the cool way, like Tim does. All right. Anyway, there you go. I hope that was helpful. All right, I got shit. Do I have spam in here? Holy shit. All right. Well, I dropped the ball on setting the link. It looks like I have a lot of questions and people in here, so good. I didn't mess up too bad. Because as in the alerts that, live call at 7 p.m., I forgot to put the stupid ass link in it. Yeah. YouTubing, to be a YouTuber, there's a huge learning curve. I'm telling you what, it's a massive, massive learning curve. And I've made a lot of mistakes. All right. Hello from Germany. All right. Sounds fine here. Billions. Bottom Trias. Okay. Where's the bottom for Trias? I think Trias is going to hit 75 cents. Yeah. 40 to 75 cents is my guess. I've already analyzed, you can literally go on my channel and just, once you're on my homepage, just search Trias or Trias Cosas Verdes from a YouTube search and look at the most recent ones. I go over the bottom targets and I show you why, and I use channels and all that stuff. It's going under $1. It could even hit in the 20s, but I would say between 40 to 75 cents. Yeah, but you need to be careful with anything that's a new project and it's not big enough of an altcoin to get funding, because if the project team through the bear market, if selling because they're going to have to sell the coins because they're not profitable. Like, they don't have customers paying them. And if they do, and I'm mistaken, then I apologize, but I'm pretty sure they don't. And if they do have a little bit of customers, they're definitely not profitable, and it's probably not enough to pay their employees. So the way crypto folks, the reason why they hold on to so many coins is because they have to sell it to pay their people, right? And hopefully advertise well enough so people like us buy it, so they can continue paying their lights, literally. But since it's in a bear market, it's a new crypto. Just be very careful. I mean, because if it can't, I wouldn't say it's probable, but there is a heightened chance that things that came out around 2020 or 2019, or maybe not 2019, but around late 2020 through 2021, those coins, they have a heightened chance of not making it through this bear market. And usually projects die at the end of the bear market, after you've already accumulated, and then it's gone. So be careful. And I like Trias, right? I enjoy it. But I'm talking about Trias, XPR Proton, all those new things. You need to be careful. It's going to be so much safer to wait until Bitcoin's weekly 10 goes above its weekly 21, probably in 2023 or 2024, and then decide to buy those projects that came out, that like the small caps, especially small caps. Stuff like Algorand, they're getting funding so they can pay their employees and keep their lights on without selling their tokens in a bear market, which means they can sell all they want, but it's not worth enough to pay their employees, therefore they die, right? So, but the small caps, you need to be careful. Like, literally waiting to really get aggressive on those until, like, forget about catching the bottom of it with a lot of money. Like, it's going to be a lot safer to wait till Bitcoin's weekly 10 is above its weekly 21 for small caps. I'm telling you, it's going to, and a lot of people on the way up, like, they didn't believe me when I said, like, this is, like, it's a good time to sell. Like, I was, people thought I was an idiot. I sold MTV at 1.2 cents. Oh, but when it went up to 1.4, I'm an idiot. Right? I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, I'm probably going to be right with this. It might not be exactly Trias or exactly Proton, but small caps that came out in late 2020 or early 2021, they have a heightened chance of dying. Waiting till Bitcoin's weekly 10 is above its weekly 21 is the way to go. I'm telling you. All right. Now, that doesn't mean if you want $1,000 of Trias, you don't throw 200 in during the bear market before that happens. Okay. But if you know you want 10K of Trias at a single point, your single point shouldn't be in a bear market because it could disappear. Maybe a fifth of it or a quarter of it or a third, maybe. But be very careful with those things. All right. I've already talked about XPR a whole bunch. All right. XRP. Hi, Tim. Can we talk about XRP and the lawsuit? Okay, investment for the next bear market expected at the bottom. All right. Somebody's asking about XRP. I'm not a fundamentalist, so I try to show you how to look at price and to understand for yourself. I teach you tools and show you how to make channels and stuff like I just did. I'm not a fundamentalist. However, if I had to pick a side, I would guess not only would I give it a thumbs up, but I think XRP is in the situation where not only is it a thumbs up, but it's so good that it could single-handedly pull all of crypto out of a bear market earlier than even the traditional market before it bottoms. I'm definitely holding XRP. Did I buy it at the perfect time? No. I probably bought it at 69 to 74 cents. I'm okay with that. And I only got about a third of what I wanted on purpose. Similar to my strategy, what I just told you with it, Trias and all that. Don't buy it all when you think it's the best price. Like, you need to wait, right? I only got about a third of what I wanted. But I have good thoughts. However, I'm not a subject matter expert on fundamentals. There are the majority of crypto YouTubers are the news people who don't understand price very well. And I'm a person inverse to that. I understand price, but I don't understand fundamentals very well. Unless it's a 2017 coin when I did all that research, which most new people do. I was like, oh, this and all that. And, all that time was wasted. Should have just picked Bitcoin and Ethereum, really, to be honest with you. All right. All right. Let's see here. Who's going to ask me about some charts? MATIC. Okay. Somebody's asking me about a MATIC bottom. So remember, I made a bunch of MATIC videos warning about that big drop. Remember? That guy even put 80% drop MATIC, and it's called stupid. All right. So before, and I was called stupid about Solana. I said, don't freaking buy it until it's below 30 bucks. People literally went on my channels telling me I'm stupid. Where is it now? It's like at 41 bucks. It's already almost hit 30 bucks before Bitcoin's at a bottom. So what I'm about to show you might be shocking, but I'm telling you, I'm probably going to be pretty close. Okay, so just trust. I wouldn't say trust me, but keep that like thought in the back of your mind in case you might be shocked. So people might be shocked to hear me say try ass under $1 and all that stuff. But what I'm about to show you, it's gonna have a strong chance of playing out. Because all right, here we go. MATIC. Did I leave my boxes there? Please tell me I left it there. I did leave my bear market boxes there. Okay, I think I've already done a video, but did I leave my stuff where I was talking about that big crash? No, I took them off. Okay. All right, good. At least my MATIC chart's nice and clean, so that's good. I would say MATIC's bottom, yeah, it's right there. There you go, MATIC's bottom. It's going to be one of those two, and it likely will not be in between. But if it is in between, that means it goes below this one and comes right back up like that. And that's what I think Ethereum's going to do too. So if this were like $800 for Ethereum, no. If this were $1,000 for Ethereum, I think Ethereum's going to go to 800 or even 750, then come right back up to actually maybe even 1,200. I think it's going to go like, I think there's something around Ethereum, some horizontal around 1,200. I think it's going to go down to 850 and then come right back up. So that could happen here, but at the 32-cent line, because let me take off the EMA fill. When you look left, what's true for bear markets of the price of anything, price of oil, price of, unless it's price discovery down, like Proton's getting XPR, and maybe not Trias, but XPR is going to have price discovery down. Outside of price discovery down, any bear market bottom is going to hit structure when you look left every single time. It'll be a wick, but that's where the wick is going, the ultimate bottom. It's going to hit structure. And honestly, this structure is a little too small. I would say it's like, this is a little weird. And actually, this box should be a little bigger. I would make this 14 cents. Plus a couple or minus a couple. So between actually, I need to label this better. Between 10 to 19. This is kind of a big range, but things will get really nutty and really volatile. All right. Yep, those are your extremely high probability bottoms on a wick. On a wick. Doesn't mean it'll live down there for a long time. If you don't have your limit buys down there, you might not ever get it. And they need to be resting there, because the capitulation could easily, the final one could easily happen when the market, the order book is very, very thin. And so you might be asleep. And if you don't have your limit buys down there, then you're not going to get it, most likely. Now, this, it looks like, since I think this might happen in August to October now, if Bitcoin rallies to 40K, I don't think there's any chance for a bottom before October. But if Bitcoin doesn't rally, then it could be in early July. So this Bitcoin rally or not to rally right now is a big deal. It's going to make a huge difference on when and perhaps where a Bitcoin bottom is, but it's definitely going to affect when hugely. Okay, so they both kind of make sense. So if I put this as Bitcoin doesn't rally up, and I think a bottom will be somewhere in late July, make something there, and if it does rally up, it'll be closer to October. Okay, so I will actually one up. If Bitcoin does not rally up to 40K, I think this has a chance to hold on to the 32. Because it could wick below this origin line, this gray line here. It could wick, hit that, maybe 26 cents, pop right back in there. Something to that effect, then ride this origin line. But if Bitcoin rallies up first, I think this will rally, and I think it'll ultimately actually go lower. So if rally, then lower for MATIC is my opinion there. If no rally for Bitcoin and it just kind of putters out, then I think it has a chance to only go down to 32. Am I making sense there? And when we measure down here from wick high, that's honestly, this is a lot more probable. Your 10 to 19 is just way more probable than this. So what I would say is 32 has a chance, but it's unlikely. This is your more probable thing. Either way, actually, because almost everything's going to go down at least 95%. And if it went below this, I wouldn't be surprised, because the bottom of this box is only 96.5% from WACI. Cardano went down 99% last bear market. Cardano, this is MATIC. Cardano got a lot more love, still does, than MATIC. So if Cardano could get all that love, go down 98.77%, I would not be surprised if this went down even lower, down to 44.5 cents. I would not be surprised. However, I would say this is more probable. So that's what we got. All right. Yeah, CPI's come out at 8:30, correct. New York time, 5:30, California. So somebody's saying this will likely set the tone. I disagree with that statement. It's going to go both ways. Just because it goes up at first, at 8 o'clock, I think that actually makes it more probable it's going to tank. But I think it'll go up first. But if you see it go down first at 8 o'clock, I think it's then going to go up. And then back down, and then maybe up. I don't think it'll set the tone. It might give you the opposite direction indication, but I think it's gonna do one of these. But I get what you're saying. It technically would set the tone. However, I think it's highly probable it moves the other way first, very volatilely, very, very, very volatilely first. So technically not the tone, because the opposite tone would be put first. Does that make sense? Because people with a lot of money already know what's going to be said. They already have the information. Politicians already know whether they should be selling their stuff or not. They've already gotten this. Why do you think every single politician, maybe besides 2 or 3 in America, are millionaires? That's why. And also because backdoor deals and all that stuff, during big construction stuff, and they'll have a company in their wife's cousin's name, and then they'll even though a project only cost 20 million or 500 million to finish, the deal will be for 600 million, then they pay it out and divvy it up. Like, that's how they become millionaires. But anyway, but a lot of it is because after those deals, then they're in the stock market and they're insiders. That's just how it works. And you're going to see it. So, all right. You need the chart of BTC comparative. Okay. So Grace is saying you need to chart the BTC comparative, not the USD. ETH will drop to less than % of BTC value in this bear. I'm not for sure I understand. Less % of BTC. You think ETH will drop less than Bitcoin in this bear market? You're going to be wrong on that. You're going to be wrong. Very wrong. You must be bullish on the upcoming stuff. Doesn't matter. News does not do shit in bear markets. It ain't going to do anything. Ethereum will not drop less from its all-time high than Bitcoin. Now, if it does and I eat my words, well, then I eat my words. But I'm going with what's highly probable, and it's highly probable that you're wrong. Could you be right? Absolutely. But that's not how I make my guesses. I make my guesses off what's probable. And does sometimes the improbable happen? Absolutely. And so, therefore, you could have a fantastic guess. But I think you're going to be dead wrong. Actually, MATIC on the short term looks pretty good. Looks like it's going to pop up pretty hard. I like this shape. Whenever you see this shape in crypto, especially if it starts getting over here. Over that. Sometimes you'll get a fake out of that, hit the next height, and then tank down. But this is usually pretty good on the short term. All right. Where is the bottom for I've already talked about CPIs. Okay, good. Check the ETH-BTC. Yeah, ETH-BTC is pretty bearish. Yeah, ETH is not going to gain on Bitcoin in the bear market. That ain't going to happen. See where I think it's going? That's where I think ETH versus BTC is going. ETH is not going to go down less than Bitcoin. On a percentage basis on US dollars. No way. I guess there is a way, but because if one coin does do it, it would be Ethereum or Chainlink. The two most legit non-Bitcoin in all of crypto, Chainlink and Ethereum. But I guess it could, but I just don't think it's probable. And maybe you have other information than me, but if your information is, oh, the release and going to proof of stake or whatever 2.0, if you think that's going to do it, it's not. That is not going to make people buy it bullishly in a bear market, I'm telling you. Could it make them buy the bottom more and it recovers faster after? Yeah, I could see that. And Ethereum leads Bitcoin, kind of like Litecoin led Bitcoin in 2019 and around February. Absolutely, that could happen, but not race to the bottom. That's highly, highly, highly improbable. Well, maybe that target's a little low because this bottom origin line here, this is saying that ain't gonna happen. So this is too low. I need to modify this. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna break below this. It's still gonna go down, but I think it's gonna do something like this. A wick below and then come up. Yeah, it might wick down there. You know what? I will keep that. I think that is about right because it'd be a wick below, just like it wicked below here. So that makes sense. Actually, that does make sense. I'll keep that there because that was my guess, and it does kind of align with this. It aligns with the wick below. And it'll probably race back up, go like this. And then get back in here. I can see that happen. But I'm pretty confident it'll at least come down to that wick, which is just above this. Like it's going to hit that wick right there. It's going down to 0.044 or 0.045 at least. That I'm extremely confident of. F versus Bitcoin. All right, here we go. Somebody's saying, look, here, maybe this is a cool way to, all right, somebody asked this question. Has basic to go. I don't understand what you're trying to say, man or woman. So one of my weaknesses that my community has made me better at is understanding traditional markets and global finance. I'm getting way better at it because my VIPs are pounding it into my head, and now that they've convinced me that it's literally, outside of Nasdaq following that type of stuff, monetary policy and CPI data and all that stuff. But what drives that movement is all that stuff, unfortunately. So Bitcoin is at whim to the same stuff that Nasdaq is, and that's what moves Nasdaq. So I'm not, I didn't understand it. So it was over my head, or maybe you just didn't say it right. Maybe I'm missing something, but whatever you were asking, I don't understand. All right, Bitcoin is the index. It is the tide that floats all other coins. I agree with that. So maybe I misunderstood you. Hold on, let me look at your first one. You need to chart BTC comparative, not to US dollars. ETH will drop to less of a percent than BTC value in this. So your word, I don't know if English is your first language or not, but your question's a little confusing, and that might be why I might have misunderstood what you were saying. But I do agree with that statement, Grace. You said Bitcoin is the index, and it's like, it's the tide that floats all other coins. That is true. Yes. Here, GEEK. Hey, Ram. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Taking some time to look more into the king of all blockchains, 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜. Yeah, honestly, okay. Okay, so 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜. I don't know anything about 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜, but all the hype that it's getting, even when price was screaming down, just like I thought it would, per my targets, but I think that it is a strong contender for being one of the best coins to scrape up when you're guessing that Bitcoin's bottoming and when Bitcoin forms a macro higher low, in which most altcoins then form a lower low a year later after Bitcoin's bottom. So during those two times, I'm probably going to go, I would say moderately heavy on Kadena on a personal basis, just based off of how many people believe in this shit. Now, a lot of people believed in Luna. That didn't work out. When I said Luna's going to drop 65%, I literally got multiple people explaining, like putting big comments explaining it's virtually impossible for Luna to drop 70%, right? Like explaining, right? But so things have been wrong. People have been wrong who are experts on fundamentals. Dead wrong. And I've been dead wrong before. Look at my shirt. Buy a coin. Wearing it for a reason. I was dead wrong. It's like the worst call I've ever made. But besides Bitcoin won't go under 50. That's tied for the worst. I also thought Bitcoin wasn't ever going to go under 50K again because Ethereum and Cardano were screaming up. It really tricked me. But anyway, Kadena is probably one that I think has a strong chance from wick low to next bull market high. I think it's a strong contender to be one of the few big caps that do 100x. Now, does that mean you can buy a wick low and sell a wick high? No. You would expect 60 to 70% on a good bull run of that move. So if it does 200x, well, then you could expect maybe to catch half of that or 100. If it does 100x, you would only expect yourself to be able to buy and sell to get your money back, roughly half, or 60, maybe 70 if you're good, right? So it doesn't mean everybody will be able to 100x if you're buying, because you can't exactly buy the low and sell the high. But I think it's a great contender. And yeah, just because all the stuff going out there, even though I personally am not educated on it, people who I know are, and I trust them as a resource, even though I know nothing about it. I could just blindly give some form of trust. They're pretty bullish on it, so that is something I'll be picking up probably in 2023 or late 2022. Could be October, but maybe September to October this year I'll pick some up, and then in 2023, potentially when Bitcoin makes a higher macro higher low, maybe around 30K or 29K, or maybe around 25K. Higher low at 25 to 30, I would probably pick some more up then. So I'm all about Kadena too, and I think it'll be a strong double digits in my portfolio next bull run. And I'll probably, just like I like the 20 bag or 30 bag dash on its oscillations up after a big strong move, I'll probably do that, and I'll try to accumulate until Bitcoin has 2 to 3 strikes of bearish divergence on the daily, and then I'll sell it all. Just like I sold everything a little early this time, and I looked like an idiot for about 45 days, and then I looked like a genius about 100 days later. So, selling MTV and Veracity and all that stuff. All right. Cardano is going down. All right, let's take a look. Man, I had a nice Cardano short in, but oh no, it's popping. Wait, what time frame am I on? No, it popped up, right? Or no? Well, it's still about the same. Why did I have my alert so close? It's weird. Yeah, that's normal. So look at the 4 hour. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. EMA fill. So actually no one's asked about Cardano, but I'm going to do Cardano here. I really like Cardano's chart, especially for shorts. Sometimes when to long it goes sideways for so long, and then it wicks down and does trappy stuff, but to short it, it's pretty straightforward. So Bitcoin's starting to drop. I might have to get out of a small long that I'm in. What is, hold on, shit's starting to drop. It's not that bad. Okay, nothing alarming. Let me set another alert here. What's the voice of reason doing? All right. Okay, it's happening right now, folks. Look. It's happening right now. Oh, shit. I might want to... Hold on. I'm going to have to sign back into Kucoin. And no, I'm not going to show you what I do. On my on Discord, I show you my exact account. Like, I tell people how much money I put into futures that week, or how much I'm leaving in, or what I'm trying to get it to. Right now, I'm trying to do a path from 5K to 100K in futures. I did very, very well at first, and then I gave back probably a third of it. But I'm still more than double. But I'm not at 100K yet. All right. So anyway, because I just started this anyway. All right. Maybe about April 26th or so is when I started trying to do this. Nope, I got stopped out already. Shit. All right, that got me out. Okay, well, that is what it is. I have to wait until it gets back above the 5-minute EMA fill and uses it as support. Kind of making rules for myself in this choppy stuff. I can't long into that. All right. Anyway, this is what I expected to happen, right? So right as these two are intersecting is when it's going to drop. Okay, and that's that's what's happening here. Could have done it back here too. They were intersecting, but here is where they're truly about right here is where they're perfectly intersected. So it waited a little bit. See that? All right. Actually, I wanted to go back to Cardano. I want to show you some a price path that, oh my gosh, I should have stayed in that short. Oh well. Okay, anyway, a price path that I'm thinking could be a pretty good setup. Should there be a fake out to the downside and then things go up, is the 4-hour EMA fill. And again, the EMA fill that I use is 21 at 55, and the style is how I set up 4 colors, okay? So these are the colors of the line. See how that's yellow? That line is yellow, and green when it flips, red when it's pairs flipped. Okay, 4 colors, 21.55. I think Cardano has a good chance of coming down to the bottom, or the 4-hour 55 EMA, and then kind of sorting itself out. So it won't just go V-shape, but I think it has a chance to hold that. Maybe wick below, maybe come down to this horizontal here. Could wick below, but I think this could be a good setup, especially if the traditional markets in Bitcoin fake out to the downside before a rally, which is probable. So if traditional markets rally, they're going to spike down first. It's statistically likely to happen, to move the opposite way first. So I think this zone to here, something like this, if I can make like a flower base with a flower, something like that, so like either by the flower or by the vase, right? This all could be a pretty decent set. Let me make the flower a little smaller. Something like that, and I'll leave that there. I think that could be a fairly good. This is not financial advice. I'm talking about my thoughts on Cardano price. I'm not insinuating that you should take any action with your money, but I think this could be a good setup. Now, would you have to enter twice on if you're using leverage? Probably. That's 3%. Yeah, I would probably try it twice. If it's that far apart, I would try it here and then let myself get stopped out, then try it down there. And then if it keeps going down, then I'm just obviously be done trying for that. But that's and then if that were to happen, I think Cardano could pop back into this this fill before it flips, even way before it flips. Maybe battle around a little bit here, something to that effect. Then go sideways and then bust up and out because it's got that remember that local high before the drop. This is where the money's at right there. So so it already tested it once almost perfectly, but if Bitcoin rallies up, things will go down first because there's almost always a fake out on traditional markets, which will affect Bitcoin and affect this. It's probably going to come up. If markets do react the way I think it is, it's going to rally, but it's going to go down first, come up. This could be the exact price path of it, and before it breaks out of this area. So I'll make the box here. There you go. And then maybe something like and it could really get hot. I'll leave that there. And so again, this is if traditional markets react to CPI data stuff on June 10th. So tomorrow, from the time I'm recording this, if the market reacts in a bullish way, but tanks first, which is highly probable if it were to go up, that's the price path for Cardano. If the traditional market reacts differently than what I'm guessing, then Cardano won't do that. And I would then flip plans on a personal basis to make money to the downside quickly, right? Does that make sense? All right, and that's what we got for Cardano. All right. All right, I'm going to have to wrap this up here. If I had to choose 5 altcoins to buy this bear market, what would you choose? Can I include Ethereum as an altcoin? Well, I would choose all large caps because they're going to go up first. before your mid caps and small caps, and I would sell them at the beginning of a bull, or at least half of each of them during the bull, like the beginning of the bull run, and then start buying small and mid caps because they won't take off yet, or they'll just have begun taking off, and they will not have at that point gone up as far as large caps. So I'd buy all large caps. You're the ones that got a lot of love. Probably not Cardano though, but even though Cardano's chart looks good right now, I would probably do something like XRP, Solana, Cardano, Ethereum. Was that 4? Probably not Algorand. Algorand didn't get a lot of sexy price moves. I don't know about my 5th. I'd have to think about it. But those would probably be 4 I would get. Yeah, I do plan only to... I do plan my strategy for like buying as many small caps as possible, even though I'll probably buy fewer small caps this next bull run than I did last time. But I would I would have more money to buy them if I bought large caps first, specifically, and then sell them when the bull market's obvious, and then buy small and mid caps. Maybe I'd have a dark horse in that race. Maybe Veracity. Maybe I'd pick one mid cap. Yeah, that could do pretty well at the beginning, because there might be 1 or 2 mid caps that do. Like for example, Phantom. Last bear market, it was not a large cap. It went down 99%. Hell, it went down about 90% and then dropped from there another 95%. It had, like, if you look at its chart, like, I don't know if you've seen it, but that, like, it was in 2020, it got destroyed. And it was not a large cap, so it was a mid cap at that time. And mid cap, kind of like Veracity. So I would for that dark horse in the race, I would try to choose something that would have a chance to do what Phantom did, go from being a small mid cap to a large cap, and just do something impressive. And I would probably pick Veracity for that one. So I would do 4 large caps if I could only choose 5, 4 large, and then my dark horse, and then during when the bull run's obvious, I would sell those to then buy the smaller caps to some degree. All right. No, I'm already holding Dash, so I'm good. I'm using other people's money to accumulate it, so I don't plan on purchasing anymore. With my own money, I'm going to use other people's money to purchase it. My goal is to have, I think 500, so I don't have like tens and tens of thousands of dollars of it. But it will be. It'll be a lot more than that next bull run. I want 500 before the bull market. Or before the bull market's half over. That's my goal. I want 500 Dash before the bull market's over. And I've already doubled it. So I've already gotten to past 200. So I should be able to meet that goal. All right. So I'm going to trade my way to having more Dash. I'm not going to buy it with my hard-earned money. I'm going to use other people's freaking money. All right. Solana is going nowhere, my friend. Yeah, a lot of people are shitty about Solana. And you know what? I could change my mind. I'm getting a lot of people saying it's shit. It's too centralized. But based off what Solana did this time, I mean, people thought Cardano sucked, and it, from its wick low, it did not outperform Ethereum this bull run. Just because it went down lower doesn't mean you can measure from its wick low to a top. That's not how math works. It did not outperform Ethereum. That is factually and mathematically incorrect. Because you can't count weakness for strength. You have to have the baseline. How far did Ethereum go down? And that's where you start measuring that percentage down. That's where you start Cardano's run. You can't say, oh, Cardano went way down farther, so we're going to measure up from there. No, you can't. That's not how math works. Anyway, but if Solana really gets beat up, I mean, you would. I still think it could do well. I mean, Cardano didn't have anything prepared for the beginning of the bull run, and it still did well. It hasn't done jack shit. So, I don't know. A lot of haters on it. A lot of haters on Cardano, but I think Solana could replace it, potentially. For not in terms of its function and use case necessarily, but for the love it gets and the attraction that it has for new buyers to make it go insane. Specifically replace it replace it as the flavor of the month that has carryover from the previous bull run. I think Solana is a strong contender. Even though it's had outages and all that stuff, I mean, instead of planning for 10 years without doing anything, they just built and made mistakes. I prefer that. I think you should build, and go. And sometimes it'll bite you in the ass. Maybe you didn't plan enough and you built, and then you have to build a support for the bridge. That could have been built a little better, but fuck, people needed to cross now. They didn't need to cross like Cardano in 8 years. They need to cross now. And Solana made a solution for now. And I don't know. That's my opinion. But I could be dead wrong. Yes, Solana will be the next EOS. Yeah, that's a fair statement. EOS did do absolutely nothing. Yeah, that... Honestly, you could be right. Now you're making me question myself. That's not a bad statement. That's a pretty smart statement. That means you were here last time. Who said that? Will. Yeah, Will, that... You might be on the money with that. Interesting. Might have to reconsider. I'm still going to get some when it's at $22 and $12 though. I'm definitely going to buy some at those levels. All right, 52 people in the chat. Oh, hit the like button. Yeah, hey, thanks, Ottoman Fighter. Yeah, I could get some love hitting that like button. What else do we got? Theta is, yeah, I think, you know what? Theta might be my fifth choice if I picked all large caps. Theta's a hell of a selection. All right, here we go. Solana, hit the like button. QRDO, KCS, then I gotta wrap up. All right. All right, let's take a look at Kucoin Shares. Wow, that's aggressive. I think I said that last time too. Well, I already put my target. If Bitcoin rallies up to 40K, it's going to hit $20.25. It's going to hit 2020. Not the year, but $20.20. It's really holding on to that origin line. You see that? See that gray line here? It is snug on it. It could wick below, hit that horizontal right here. So I wouldn't be totally convinced it's going to tank until... Just because it falls off the origin line cliff, it could bounce here, go boom. So I would have these both will be defended. Obviously, this line is being defended, the ascending line. I'm surprised it's still holding on. Yeah, there's just no way to trade this shit. Yeah, so if traditional markets with CPI data release rally up in the end, it's statistically extremely probable things will crash down on a 30-minute candle, maybe only a 15-minute, maybe even a couple 1-hour candles, but it's going to go down before it goes up. Remember, I just made a video about fake outs, right? And I might link you to it at the end of this video clip because I'm recording it for not just live, but yeah, fake outs. So we just mapped it out on Discord today. It's actually like 60 to 70% probable. If it goes up, it will go down first and hard. Like, it's literally what happens. You have a strong edge on that thought. So if the market does rally up, I would actually say that this will hit that box first. Or yeah, it'll probably come down to $15 even. And then with the idea that traditional markets will rally, which could be wrong, but under that assumption, something to that effect. Boom. Actually, I can go. It's a lot easier to use this. Boom, 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 boom. Like that. And that would hit $15 as a good pickup. Now, if it hits that level and traditional markets actually don't end up going up, it could go a lot lower. So be careful with that. It's a fairly risky play, but high risk, high reward, right? Catching it down before it then bust up. That's what I could see it doing on its path to $20.20 with the release of the consumer price index stuff at 8:30 a.m. on June 10th, which is tomorrow from the time of this recording. Yeah, the Kucoin Shares is looking, it looks wacky, but it looks, I mean, well, hell, how far down is it from its high? It's only down 45%. Fuck, it is strong. My eyes were not deceiving me. Holy cow. This is among the strongest assets in crypto. How far is Bitcoin down from its high? Fuck, 56%. Yeah, Kucoin Shares is a strong ass token. I did not know that. That is honestly, I did not know that. Wow. Well, honestly, I take that back. Since so many people are shitting on Solana, this would be Kucoin Shares would be among the 5. If I can only buy 5 altcoins in a bear market, this is gonna be one of them, because then it'll lower my fees on Kucoin. Yeah, I would definitely. And as I hold it after the bear market, going into a bull market, it's gonna go up and reduce my fees. So yeah, this will definitely be one I get. Oh my gosh, I did not know this was this strong. This is honestly quite impressive. This is almost unbelievable how impressive this is. It's consolidating near the top in a bear market. Wow. This is wild. I don't know if they changed tokenomics, like they did a lot of burning or something, but it's what it looks like to me. Burning that actually worked, not like OMI. Burnonomics, it's gotta go up. Oh my God, as I was warning people in March, this is going way down. Look, the Burnonomics, man. But it looks like the Burnonomics of Kucoin Shares did whatever they're doing it right. This is badass. This might be the strongest chart in all of crypto. It's stronger than Bitcoin's chart. It's only down 44% from its high. This would definitely be one I'm picking up in the bear market if I can only pick 5. So yeah, Kucoin Shares is looking fantastic. And if it does break down, it'll just be a pretty classic breakdown probably. If it breaks down, I would guess it'll look more like this. Would it go all the way? Yeah, it'd probably come all the way back up. I'm a little, it could just go like this and down, and then it would go here, stutter step, and maybe recover. But immediate, so if things break down, its immediate downside target is very obviously 13, right at 1350 for a breakdown target. Just structure from there, right there. The origin of that assessment being that wick and this. So essentially you have like a W here, right? So inverted head and shoulders if I'm a pattern person, which just means it's your first higher low. That's all it means. Which is why it works sometimes. But let's see here. Yeah, so that would be, yeah, so first higher low is what creates head and shoulders, or inverse head and shoulders, and that's why it's technically bullish. Yeah, breakdown 1350, break up is 2020. That's what we got for Kucoin Shares. All right, and then, hey, keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, Will. Yeah, that was honestly, man, he definitely had me second guessing myself about Solana. And you know what? I might just replace that thought with Kucoin Shares. But man, like when Solana hits $22, it's gonna be hard not to at least put a little bit of money there. It's gonna be hard not to do that. I'll probably get some. I'll probably reduce the amount I want, and I'll put it in Kucoin Shares instead. Yeah, you're probably right, because EOS, like, it was, people were so convinced it was going to beat Ethereum, and here's all, like, you should go to, you know, seriously, go to 2017 and 2018 archived Reddit stuff on Cardano and EOS. Like, people spent hours writing stuff and defending it, and I bet that kind of stuff happened this bull run, but since I kind of at this point realized that most fundamentals is a waste of time, because a lot of it will never go back to its all-time high anyway the next bull run. Then why the fuck am I reading about it? You should, yeah, it's that could easily happen. It could easily happen. Yeah, thank you for that. I should give you $10. You might have just saved me like multiple 5 digits over. Or the opportunity cost. Save me from missing the opportunity cost of not getting something else. I'm a soul hater. Ella, I had 2,000 in my bot at 315 and sold too early. Ooh, yeah, that sucks. Well, you shouldn't hate it just because of that, but I get the understand. I understand. You're allowed 1 to 2 chest pounding coins, and you're allowed 1 to 2 coins you hate on, right? So Cardano and Omi were the ones I hated on. Since Omi's not coming back anyway, I can pick a new one. I can pick Cardano and something else. I don't know. All right. Let's see. What do you think a bear market target for DAG? Okay, I'll do DAG, then I'm done. One of those 2 boxes, and it's very obvious. This is a glaringly obvious bottom area. It's going to be one of those 2. So it's either going to be close to 3.5 cents or it's going to be close to 2.5 cents. So pretty easy targets. Or lower, but these are pretty obvious levels. It could go down all the way to these wicks here, maybe. But if it did go down to 1.7, it's going to pop right back up, making this a good area to consider it. 2.5 cents. So 2.5 to 3.5, so around 2.5 or around 3.5. I don't think it'll stop right in the middle though. So if it goes below this box, it's gonna hit this box. Because this wick right here, prices here. Let me move this so you can see. Whenever you see a stray wick like that, where things. So my phrase is turns on a dime. It's just as powerful as like 5 weekly candles, even though it's only a 1 hour wick. But if it specifically turns on a dime in a macro shift like this did, down to up, it has the value. It's like the most powerful type of horizontal there is. I'm telling you, like, it's right. What I just said is accurate. And then you have another stray wick over here, and another stray wick there, and then the consolidation at a top-ish over here. So this is 2.5 is an extremely obvious spot from stray wick to stray wick supported in the middle by this hump here. That would be my favorite guess. It has a chance to hold on here, though. It has a chance to hold on to 3.5. Let me measure down, see if what I'm saying actually agrees with reality. 92. 95. So 2.5 is much, much, much more likely. Even structurally, because these stray wicks, price is going to want to test that, and it's going to want to test this. So it's very likely going to 2.5 cents or lower. Could go lower. My third guess would be 1.7. So I think, however, I would be pretty happy with 2.5 though. I think if you bought there and it recovers and even gets close to all-time highs next bull run, you're going to do pretty okay. I guess I don't need to... Yeah, I probably do need to potentially do need to drag it out that far. Yep, those would be my 3 boxes. There you go. 1.7, 2.5, 3.5 for DAG. All right, rock and friggin' roll. All right, hey, thanks everybody for being here. I will be better about sharing the links with the alerts on Twitter and YouTube, like, hey, it's 7 p.m. I'll include the link there. I don't know why I forgot this time. And we will see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Peace out.